Is that a sad wall or what? Is that a depressing pile of crates or what? Is that an unfortunate collection of boxes or what? Yes, I'm moving to a new house. Now I sound kind of perturbed there, but actually it's a good thing. Maybe I get to save a little bit of money. Plus I'm gonna be rooming with my best friend Harrison, who makes a couple appearances in this vlog. Harrison, how ridiculous do I look?
Pretty ridiculous.
But moving is a little bit frustrating, I suppose. So we're getting over that. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. By the way, some upcoming case reviews from Freewell. So I got all my junk back there and I'm going to do a shoot. I can't really show you exactly what I'm shooting because it's inside someone's home, someone's residence. But anyway, yes, I'm moving. Within the next week and a half, I will be finally moving into my new place. So I've got a little bit of driving ahead of me and I just wanted to kind of say, thanks to all the positive feedback from my last video, the dry spell short narration with the drone footage. You guys seem to really enjoy it, that was cool. Now, a big part of the reason why I even made that video and why I shot some of that new footage, the most recent footage, is because PolarPro had sent me some of their cinematic lighting effects that you can add to Premiere and to Final Cut. They're just like little overlays of different light leaks and flares and that sort of thing. And you can put it on your footage, and if you do it subtly and creatively and not too heavy-handedly, you can actually make a pretty cool effect out of it. So when I get back from this shoot, I'm gonna make a little tutorial on how exactly you can accomplish that. All right, I'm back significantly later in the day because I had to take a nap. But I told you guys earlier that I would walk you through some of the Helios lighting effects that PolarPro just released. It's basically a package that includes 32 lighting effects in 4K, 2.7K, and 1080p that you can easily drag into your editing composition, whether you're using Adobe Premiere or Final Cut or whatever else. As long as you can modify the blending modes of different clips in your editing timeline and overlay clips over one another, then you should be able to use these. It's 30 bucks on their website, but you can actually download the 1080p versions of these for free. Now, PolarPro's website does have a tutorial on how to set these up in Premiere, but hey, we're gonna go a little more in depth, and my tutorial includes my voice. So when you download the packages, basically you get 3 different folders: a 1080p version, a 2.7K version, and a 4K version. So I've actually put them into my Adobe root folder here in my program files. Go into Adobe and then I just dropped them in there so I'll never lose them. And then what I did is I imported the 4K versions. If you click into the 4K versions, you see you have all these flares and light leaks and some transitions. You also have some organic natural effects right here, 1 through 8. So I imported all of this, including the organic natural folder, into my project window. And so here they are. You see organic natural effects right there. You also see all of the other things that I added in there. So basically, double clicking on any of these MP4 clips here that are in that Helios cinematic lighting folder, and you can see what they're all about. They're lens flares that move. There are different effects like that, orange flares, even purple light leaks. If you have something that purple would make more sense in your particular video. Red, also teal. So let's go into my program window here and see where I have some instances of these particular lighting effects. Right now, the very first shot actually it features one, but it's very subtle. So if I actually make my footage invisible, you can see that there's this huge sun flare. It's actually pretty obvious once I get rid of the lake clip. And it loops actually because it wasn't long enough for the entire clip, so I looped it. And so that's what one of these effects look like in their original form. Then you have your organic natural effects, different light leaks and that sort of thing. You know, might look cool. So let's say I want to use it on this particular clip right here. Well, I drag it from my project window over the clip. So the clip of the DJI drone footage is on the bottom. And then on the top is the actual Organic Cool Leak 6. Now, since the lighting effect is 3840 by 2160 pixels, it's actually not quite as wide as my true 4K DCI footage here. So I'm going to actually have to scale it up to 107 to actually reach the edges on the left and the right of the original timeline. Changed my blend mode to screen. There. Now our black background on that light leak clip has been turned transparent. I'm also going to find where in that lighting effect the footage gets blown out completely. So right about there. Then I'm going to use my cut tool, or C on the keyboard, cut it right there. Okay, now let's move that over to the end. So as the lighting effect carries on, it gets completely blown out right there, right at the very end of the drone clip. So the purpose of doing that was to make sure that when this particular drone clip ends and the next one begins, we have the blown out lighting effect at its max intensity right there. So now we can kind of drag it back out. And now let's play it.
It may sound old to you if you're not a lake, but the cracks.
And then if we don't want to use all of that effect, we can actually start it right there too. We can actually chop off the first half or even more. And we can also use maybe a cross dissolve.
If you're not a lake, but the cracks.
Or even less of the clip too, like this.
But the cracks.
Yeah. We can even speed it up too. So go to speed, duration, 200. Now we're gonna have to find our max exposure on that lighting effect again, which is right there.
But the cracks.
So that's a little faster.
The cracks.
Let's see where else I have some. I think there's one right here. Again, just a very subtle effect. And there again, these little orbs. So let's see what that looked like. Double click. Yeah, it's just these orbs that are kind of floating around. And see how they're all going to the right? But I was able to flip it 90 degrees, and now they're moving from the top of the image to the bottom of the image.
What made me this way?
Let's see, here's another one. I think this is the same, one of the same light leaks as at the very beginning of the video. I just reused it. It worked out well. This time opacity is at 100% because if I were to actually toggle off that clip, you can actually see there's already a lens flare, a lighting effect from the sun itself in the original footage. All I had to do was just kind of accentuate it with one of these little lens flares as well and kind of compound that effect just a little bit.
Where it's going to end up.
And it's almost not noticeable that I did that because it makes sense in the image. I didn't add that in this clip because it was a cloudy day. There's no reason to put a lighting effect or some sort of lens flare because there was no sun to cause that in the first place. I started to play with it again at the end here. Another transition. And I thought this, since the music swelled at the very end here, I thought this would be a good place to put one of the more obvious and very bright transitions. There we go. So there, I think we're at 100% opacity. We're blending mode screen. And you can see that the lens flare is so powerful that it almost takes up the entire image. Like that's the max brightness right there. And it basically blows out the entire image. But that kind of helps with the power of the transition and kind of helps accentuate the music. But again, look where the sun is on the lake. You can see that there is sun here and we're pointed at it because of the way that we see the sun reflecting off the lake. Now if I were to drag this clip up and just extend it a little bit more and play it through a little bit more, you do see that there is a little bit of natural lens flare right there. Now it's kind of more bluish, but the sun is right here. So it makes sense to use a lens flare. Now if I were to double click this and show you how it looks, watch. Yes, it's sideways. It's coming from the side. Well, you look at what I have here in the video, and it's coming from above, which is where the sun was. So I actually dragged the lens flare effect to where the sun actually is in the shot, which if I were to pull this back a little bit. So basically I scaled it up to 190, I rotated it 90 degrees, and then I repositioned it. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and thanks to PolarPro for giving me these lighting effects to kind of mess around with. And I say it in every video, but check out edrickard.com if you haven't already. It's a website that basically includes all the different video making accessories and drones and drone accessories that I use to make these videos. So if you like what you see, if you liked the dry spell, check it out. By the way, a little history of that lake. It actually was not dry because of any sort of drought. It was actually drained intentionally because of the hurricane back last October, Hurricane Matthew. It actually really affected this area quite a bit, and especially Robeson County and some other places about an hour away from here. And so they actually saw that there was some damage to the dam that was essentially creating Aberdeen Lake. That's the lake that I was flying my drones at. And so they had to drain the lake in order to repair the dam. And they were just now finished repairing the dam, I guess, and they were able to fill it back up. So that's actually what happened. And it was surprising that they can drain it and fill it back up so quickly. I mean, it was either empty or it was full. I don't remember much of a filling stage, but anyway, it's pretty impressive. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and until next time, happy editing.